witches, it's me, Luna, and this is my disgruntled face. This is an unboxing today that's not an unboxing, it's a deck review because I already shot the unboxing on Thursday and then I found out that my microphone was muted the whole time. The worst part is that I went into my OBS and unmuted something that I thought was the microphone. And it was a great reading and everything, but I even thought about maybe doing a reaction video to my muted video, but then I decided ain't nobody got time for that, especially this witch, and you guys probably wouldn't find me as amusing as I do. So here we are for a deck unboxing / review. And this is a gift deck, the Celtic Astrology Oracle cards. I do not know who sent me this deck. There was no note with it. So if you sent me this deck, A, thank you. B, I apologize for being so late with your unboxing video. And C, let's pray you get as great a reading as I did the first time. I think you will, but we'll find out. So here we go. Let me zoom you in. And then I will put myself over to the side because I've been popping myself in the middle for prayer circles, but this is not a prayer circle. So Celtic Astrology by Antonella, Castelli, and Dara, Fitzrandolph. Same thing there. This is Scarabeo. And on the back, book and 26 oracle cards. Celtic astrology is not based on the stars, but on animal, plants, and the cycles of nature. Animal, plants, and the cycles of nature. So we have grammar things. With Scarabeo, this happens because obviously we have people writing these things for whom English is not their first language. A system earth-based, rooted, alive, and breathing. And then we have that in 4 other languages. Let's go. So we've got this nice fashionable box. Fashionable. This is the fashion of the day with a ribbon pull to get the things out. Book, deck. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card backs. I want to say too, just about the box, because you've got the shiny and the matte together. When you're looking at this box, it looks almost 3D. It's beautiful, beautiful and very attractive and appealing. So Antonella, Castelli, and Dara Fitzgerald. Let's get the copyright on this. 2021 in March. So this is a brand new deck. The languages in the book are English, Italiano, Espanol, Portuguese, and Ruski. The book itself goes to page 31. So we have 31 pages. This much of the book is in English. Let's look at the introduction briefly. Celtic spirituality and culture are eternally entwined with the natural world. Whether in ancestral lands or dispersed around the globe, Celts are one with the earth. The ancient Celts didn't preserve their lore in writing for the most part, and I just got paranoid and had to make sure my microphone was unmuted. Okay. The ancient Celts didn't preserve their lore in writing for the most part. In later years, their histories were recorded by monks who were not privy to much of the secret and sacred knowledge. But we do know that divination was important, both formal and informal, reading auguries in the weather, the actions of beasts and birds, the qualities of plants and trees. The wise Celts passed down these skills by word of mouth to those deemed worthy. The deck you hold in your hands is part of that tradition. We refer to Celtic astrology because in our culture that word means a system of finding our personal place in the universe, the destiny that was bestowed on the day of our birth. But this system of astrology is not determined by the stars. It is earth-based, rooted, alive, and breathing. The Celtic Astrology Oracle deck consists of 13 animal cards and 13 plant cards. Each corresponds to a time period just like the star-based astrology. In this case, the 13 moons in the Celtic year. They also correspond with each other. Animal card number 1, stag, corresponds with plant card number 1, birch, and so on. Each has its season, its quality, its key qualities, and its meaning, which you'll find in the descriptions for each card. And then we have a table here that tells the card number, the plant, the animal, and the birth date, the date range. Don't feel limited. Ways to use the cards. Don't feel limited by these suggestions. So we have your Celtic identity, how to find, which card and which plant and animal you correspond to. A daily draw, choices and decisions. The plant cards are particularly helpful when you need to make a decision or gain clarity about a situation. And then animal cards are particularly helpful in matters of relationship. And then the Wheel of the Year, 13 animal plants pairs in this oracle, each corresponding to a 4-week period as well as one of the 4 seasons. Place the 2 current cards on your altar or some other place in your home to increase your awareness of the energies available at this time of year. So that's, a great use, is just helping you to internalize this Celtic Wheel of the Year. And the Celtic Tree Oracle, I've done a couple reviews on 2 different decks that are based in this same oracle, the same system. And the other thing that comes from it is the Ogham alphabet, Ogham, which is a system. There's like lines that they would put on twigs or on the sides of stones. This deck makes no mention of that. So there are the back ones. And what I'm going to do is split this deck in 2 so we can look at the plant and the animal side by side. And this time around, I will probably be less grumpy because I can tell you right off the bat that every card, hold on, except for these first 2, has the animal reflected on the plant card. You see we've got birch here, so we do see the plant reflected on the animal card, but nowhere, unless I am blind as a fucking bat, I have looked and looked and looked and looked, and nowhere do I see any allusion to a stag here. I don't know, these little things I guess you could look at sort of as antlers, but very abstract. Pardon me, very abstract. So we have Birch the Achiever, and I also want to open to this table so I can give you the dates. Let's just do that. December 24th to January 20th is Birch and Stag, and that's not going to work. All right. Just pause a moment here. The artwork I find very appealing, very beautiful, almost a it's got the cartoon style where we have everything outlined and then colored in. But look at this. Look at the Celtic knots. Look at those antlers. Look at the stag itself. It's absolutely gorgeous. Very appealing, beautiful depth. I love the look on his face. To me, it says Birch the Achiever. Stag doesn't have a keyword with it, but Birch says the Achiever. And if you look at his face, you can see the determination in that face. So I do like the way the images reflect the meaning. Then we have Rowan, which is January 21st to February 17th. Rowan the Thinker and cat corresponds. So you can see here on this second card, there's a cat in the Rowan card. And there are Rowan berries on the cat card, so they do refer to each other. And you can see that she's being a thinky person. Okay, and again, look at the gorgeous borders. Look at just the beauty. There's an Art Nouveau-ish vibe to these with the borders, the frames, and just the lyricism of the line. Gorgeous. This also refers to the season. You see the snow. Then we have Ash, the Enchanter, and Snake. This is February 18th to March 17th. And as you can see, there are snakes. And there are ash leaves here. So I am very grumpy that we didn't do this for the first card, and I wonder why. It's like when you've made a point to do this, why would you not be consistent throughout? It buggeth me. And you see, the Enchanter, look at this. It's like the Pied Piper. But it's the Pied Piper of little fairy folk. And then we have alder, the trailblazer, and fox with the foxes there and the alder leaves. And this is March 18th to April 14th. And you see them going off, blazing a trail. So the illustrations are very indicative, at least from the plant side. They're indicative of what that plant stands for personality-wise. Oh, how did I do that? No, 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 darling. Wait. Shit. There. Because I have read with this and shuffled it, I had to put them back in order. I had one job. Okay. And now this one's got too many cards in it. Well, we'll figure that out when we get there, won't we? All right, Willow the Observer and Cow. This is April 15th to May 12th, and you see the cows in a more stylized, kind of hearkening back to illuminated manuscript and the way they did animals in those manuscripts. The Observer. I want that gown. I want to be that thin to wear that gown. And then we have Hawthorne the Illusionist and Seahorse. Hawthorne is May 13th to June 9th. And look at the hands. I mean, just very well illustrated. So Antonella Castelli, I don't know if she has any other decks because I don't think there are. Yeah, the last is just Russian. We don't have any notes here on the artist or the author. And that makes me sad. But this is pretty typical for Lo Scarabeo. They so often have decks that just have the most bare bones meaning so they can cram as many languages into the book as possible. Definitely have always come down on the side of more on the artwork than the writing. Things are changing. They've definitely done it a little differently lately, but so here we go, the Illusionist and the Seahorse. And then we have Oak, the Stabilizer, that pairs with Wren, June 10th to July 7th. So they talk about the 13 moons based on the 13 moons, but they're not. They're based on a solar calendar. The time frame is the solar calendar. That's all there is to it. And then we have 8, Holly, the Ruler, and Horse. Obviously, we see when this is, July 8th to August 4th. So I am Holly. I forgot that since I unboxed this the first time. In some systems, I'm Vine. So there are different tree oracle systems, Celtic tree oracle systems. Some things change within the system, as is the case with systems that have been around for a hell of a long time. You definitely have offshoots and family trees. You know what? While I'm talking here, I'm going to light up a charcoal. So 'twill be ready when we're ready to read. And I really do need to clean the ash out of my little cauldron. Anyway, number 9. There we go. 9. That's where I screwed up. Okay. 9 is Hazel the Knower, and Salmon. And, in the animal Celtic things, they call it the Salmon of Knowledge or the Salmon of Wisdom. And that is August 5th to September 1st. Then we have Vine, the Equalizer, and Swan. And there are the swans. Definitely, in the style of this illuminated manuscript, which all this knotwork really is. You see the grapes back and forth. So Vine is September 2nd to September 29th. And look at this beautiful swan. Again, very attractive images. Ivy, the Survivor, and Butterfly. So you can really see how some of these things relate to each other. The Survivor, and look at the butterfly. When you are a butterfly, when you're a caterpillar and you make a chrysalis, everything turns to goo inside, and then it all rearranges into a butterfly. So it really is the death and rebirth thing. This is September 30th to October 27th. And then we have Reed, the Inquisitor, which is October 28th to November 24th. Very scorpionic image there. And wolf is the corresponding card there. The wolf's up there. I don't see reeds in this one. And I'm looking at the creatures behind. There's like these really elfy, fairyish critters in the background there. Do you see them? And then we have number 13 is Elder the Seeker, and that's November 25th to December 23rd, and Falcon. So again, absolutely beautiful images. I actually would not mind having those images on my wall. They're that pretty. So I'm going to give it a shuffle. It shuffles quite easily sideways and probably end to end too. Let's find out. And then I'll back out again and we'll do a reading for you. We'll take another quick look at the book. But first, I would like to say thank you to my allies and ancestors, guides and guardians, for being with me here today and every day, for being here with me on reading videos and helping me to bring good messages. So I uncorked my fresh water. I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael. And I'm not going to smoke cleanse and all this deck, because I've already done it, but I am going to give it the fire of Azrael to reawaken the spirit of divination in this deck. So calling upon my guides to help me bring out as good of a message as I had the first time. Don't remember what it was, but let's take a look at the book again before we go in. So we have for the plant cards, we have the name and the main keyword, and then we have the animal ally, the season, and then some more keywords for it, and then we have a paragraph. When we get to the animals, we have the same thing, the plant ally, the season, more keywords, and a paragraph. And in the animal section, not in the plant section, but at the bottom of the animal, it talks about the two together, the plant and the animal. So for instance, snake. It says, snake and ash together exalt the qualities of clairvoyance, deepening, and genius. The shadow they cast may take the form of fearfulness, withdrawal, or delusion. So the animal one pairs them and talks about a shadow side. So you could do reverses, maybe just on the animals. Don't know. It doesn't talk about reverses. In this short introduction and then how to use the cards, it does not mention reverses. Let's see. Yeah, not at all. The Celts revered the green world and understood its messages very well. Trees and plants were designated to create a type of alphabet called Ogham. They do talk about it, hey, with carvings made on various woods to represent each letter or meaning. The scholarly druids were masters of this lore and stewards of the sacred trees. This living wisdom has come down the ages, adapted and expanded by each generation. And let me look at the animal introduction. Celtic lore has many tales of shape-shifting, transformations from human to animal and from animal to human. Such magical morphing was undertaken to increase wisdom as well as providing protection or escape, mystical love, and the fulfillment of destiny. Exploring your human soul through your animal nature deepens your knowledge of self. So, for my anonymous gifter, please, I ask the spirit of this deck, the many spirits of this deck, and my guides to please cooperate and coordinate and give me a message that is clear and insightful and helpful for my gifter, and I trust my guides to know who that is and give me the perfect message for the person that sent me this deck. There's our first one. I'm going to take 3. I'm closing my eyes and just seeing what pops out for a minute here. All right, so we're not going to pop out. Let's do it this way. 2 more, please. Okay. So we have 2 plants and an animal. We have 12 and 13, the Inquisitor and the Seeker, and then Swan. Now, Inquisitor, you think about Seeker, someone asking questions, someone, exploring and looking for knowledge and looking for truth. Inquisitor can also be someone asking questions. Not the way the Seeker is. The Inquisitor is kind of like someone that's holding you to account. That's the way I think of it anyway. Because thinking about the burning times, Inquisitors were not the nicest people. But let's see what it says in this deck. So, the animal ally is wolf, as we see on the card. The season is winter. The Celtic festival is Samhain. And the keywords are secrets, truth, persuasion. It would have been very helpful if they put the dates with the meaning of each card so you don't have to refer to a table separately for those dates. But clearly we're in Samhain season, and this date frame pretty much accurately framed the Scorpio time. The keywords say secrets, truth, persuasion. So it's like the Seeker is looking for spiritual truth and those universal secrets. The Inquisitor is almost looking for your secrets, your personal secrets. So Inquisitor is kind of like looking inward to me. Seeker is looking outward. Let's see if that bears out in what they've written here. If you were born during the season of Reed, you know how to dig deep to unearth truths and hidden meanings. Getting to the heart of the matter takes intelligence, patience, and sometimes guile. Reed folk are good listeners and keepers of secrets. Take care to also be discreet with your own tales. The Reed-born are drawn to gossip and scandals as much as history or legends. You are adept at coaxing people to confide in you, and sometimes persuasion can turn to manipulation. Hold to your ethics and honor to keep your connections harmless. Okay, very good message there. So this talks about, and there's no advice. So at least in the plants, there's no, if this card has come into your reading today, blah, blah, blah. Here's the advice. It just talks about the personality of the person born under Reed. So we talk about being someone that's good at keeping secrets, someone good at teasing out secrets from people. This is a people thing. Good listener, gossip, scandals, all this stuff. So this is definitely interpersonal as far as getting information. And then we have Elder the Seeker. Animal ally is falcon, season winter, Celtic festival Yule, and midwinter solstice. The keywords are philosophy, restlessness, and darkness. If you were born during the season of Elder, you may have been a bit wild in your youth, and perhaps you still are. The Elder-born can be restless to the point of recklessness as their seeking spirit reaches out for the unknown. At the time of your birth, the light of the sun was fast fleeting, lending a sense of urgency. This is seemingly contradicted by a tendency to be withdrawn, thoughtful, and philosophical. The Elder-born are complex beings drawn to the darkness, yet called by the light. Choose wise companions who can offer insights and assurance when the madness creeps too close. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that we is something about your own secrets, your own maybe missteps of the past, and so I want you to ask yourself about secrets that you're keeping about your own past, about the things you've done. And the first thing I want to do is assure you that we all fuck up, and we all have fucked up. Every single person has moments that they never want anybody to find out about, okay? We all have moments that make us feel shame. So I think looking deeply into the things that make you feel shame and bringing them sort of out of this internal thing of secrets and gossip and stuff like that, and into what does this mean for me spiritually, seeking broader answers, looking at those, and first of all with the idea of forgiving yourself for things that you've done in the past that you're not proud of. All right. But you've got to bring those secrets out. You've got to bring them into your own awareness, and then allow those to show you karmic patterns and karmic lessons. But I'm getting a strong sense here that forgiveness is needed to yourself. Forgive yourself, but that there might be someone else that you need to make reparations to, that you need to forgive, or they need to forgive you. And now let's look at Swan. Plant ally is vine. The season is autumn. The Celtic festival is Mabon, or autumn equinox. The keywords are graceful, fierce, and devoted. Those born in the sign of the Swan are spiritually evolved, eloquent, and expressive. They are beautiful both within and without. Though the Swan is known for its serene grace, it is fiercely territorial. Swan folk are passionate in relationships and devoted to their mates and offspring. They protect what they love. The swan-born have a strong instinct for when the time is right for change. When the call comes, they take to the air with no regrets. And the little part on the bottom, swan and vine together exalt the qualities of harmony, happiness, and love. The shadow they cast may take the form of defensiveness, temper, or overindulgence. So swan people are graceful, fierce, devoted, and an instinct for when the time is right for change. So I think that's what's coming in here, is saying that the time is right now for something in your past to be redeemed, something that's been a closely held secret that even brings up feelings of shame. And you're beginning to ask questions about this. What's behind this? Why did I behave this way? You know, what trauma set me up for this behavior? Where did I learn that this was okay? You know, and then asking about it's time now to look deeply into these things, internally and externally, and bring it out of yourself. I'm thinking about a quote about, you know, what you what you keep inside you can destroy you, can bring you down. Right? And I'm talking about the shameful secrets that you keep inside you. So I think that you're noticing that it is time now to go deeper, into your life, into your history, into your past, and into your shame. We all carry it, and it's so painful, so very painful. We can, you know, look at our past actions and do what we can to make amends, you know, to say I'm sorry, but to clean it out and really truly forgive yourself, you've got to get to the level where the shame lives, because the energy of shame is so toxic and it just like erodes your soul. It's, I think, one of the most painful emotions we can feel. Even above and beyond grief. So again, read the Inquisitor is saying time to go deeper internally. Elder, the Seeker, is saying then we look to the spiritual patterns. What can I learn from this? What has been, how is this pattern repeated in my life? Because the ones that repeat really are your karmic lessons. They are the big patterns of your life. And then Swan says it's time. It talks about your own inner beauty and your devotion. So be devoted to your own transformation, to your own inner beauty manifesting itself externally, because now I've forgiven myself for my past and forgiven myself for being a traumatized person and acting that out, you know, and really willing to let the shame go, the false face go, so that I can let my inner beauty out. All right. So this was a quickie because I saved all the grumpiness of going through the cards and going back to that number one card. Why isn't there a stag? Why isn't there a stag on this card? I was very grumpy. Anyway, I hope you got something from that. I hope it resonated for you. And please, if there wasn't a way to like put a note in the Amazon thing and you would like to claim, you know, please comment down below. Let me know who you are. If not, that's totally fine. I am just as grateful for this wonderful gift. It's beautiful. I love Celtic decks. And I love adding to my collection. If you would like to get a reading from me, check out down below. There's a little thing that says Amazon wish list, and you can pick a deck from that list and send me a note. But even if you don't send me a note, I will do a reading for you. The energy is there. I don't need a name to connect with you. There's a couple ways to buy me a cup of coffee if you want to. Please like and subscribe if you dig this content. There's also a Patreon where you can support me for $3 a month. Comment if you like this, if you have something to add to it. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time, probably on an unboxing, but also for live streams, Wednesday night readings. I hope to see you there. Hit the bell notification, subscribe, hit that bell. You'll know when new content is dropping. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging with me. Till I see you next time, this is Luna. Blessed be.